Greetings, welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 Twin Globes Pitch-In Season 2 Episode 1. Let's get together and make some sense. Now, of course, in this episode, what I have in mind is that we are flying from Albuquerque to Grand Junction, and of course, the Remembrance, Resilience, and Renewal have made a corridor in the American Southwest. And of course, we're here TWA Flight 54, flying from Albuquerque to Grand Junction, as I stated from before. And of course, we're carrying Canvasback ducks and embryos for such duck breed. For ecological teams to restore ancestral wetlands. The Canvasback duck is now the official and honored as the symbolic diving duck of Labrador 5-4 Gaming Productions. It embodies the mission's soul, graceful, migratory, and deeply rooted in the rhythms of nature. Each flight in this ongoing operation is more than a delivery. It is a ritual of healing, a tribute to intergenerational memories, and promises to future ecosystems. In this episode, of course, we draw poetic parallels between pennies and preservation, suggesting that even the smallest gestures like the 1-cent piece or a single duckling can ripple outward in a profound change. The Twin Globes library become a beacon of legacy, connecting past and future through copper-toned skies and compassionate cargo. Now, as Season 2 begins, especially in this episode, the narrative will deepen. Aircraft are now organized by symbolic themes, missions are layered with emotional resonance, and each episode becomes a chapter in the living archive of ecological advocacy and aviation heritage. Right, Canvasbacks are just about secured. All are aboard, especially because I had a hard time, starting up this airplane earlier. We're going to try again. So, I'm going to be a little merciful to you today. I'm going to, of course, say that, especially because the DC-9 is such a hard plane, and I had trouble starting the airplane up earlier, we'll move with a purpose. Alright. Oh, sky simulations, if you're here, or whoever's watching this, make sure you install Cooper Vane. Yeah. More like a cuckoo vane. Because D.B. Cooper definitely pulled something cuckoo off. But this is not a 727. Oh hey, for those seated in exit rows on both sides of the airplane, just so you know, I can get to you, okay? The window shades are to be pulled downward to close, upward to open. I'll say again, downward to close, upward to open. And I'll show you in the cabin really soon, okay? Now I'm gonna try and follow the tutorial fully, because for right now I think I'm just weak in engine starting. Alright. Also, these black lines here, if you can see them, you follow those to get out. Or do you? Oh yeah, let's go. Alright, we're in a rush this morning. I need to get up. Are you ready for this? You do. Yeah. Nothing like I've seen before. Alright. Heading. I got just to the plane, but not all the way. Hold on, okay. Come on, 30,000 feet. Hurry it up. Again to the limit. True or false? I have engine failure before V1, I land straight ahead. Close the throttle, yield to oncoming traffic. If I'm not at 10,000 feet and not north of Marriott, do I come back where I came in? Otherwise, do I look for other places to land? And of course, go for the Rio Grande riverbed. What do y'all think? Alright. Now, of course, let me continue to follow the tutorial, okay? Alright, so all the passenger signs are on. And the battery's not on, that's not realistic. Yeah, I'm not doing VLR to VLR navigation. Before you do anything else, before you get out of here, what do? Do you assess first, grab, pull, pull, push? And same thing goes for over here, especially because this is small. You especially, of course, assess first, grab, pull, pull, push. And same thing about overwing exits. Since, of course, this is a small airplane, I'm going to send somebody back there to go check the Cooper vein. Right here, on this emergency exit, you grab, pull, pull, push. Alright, here's what I'm talking about here. This row should remind you here that on the McDonnell Douglas DC-9 so far, window shades, you pull it down to close and up to open. Once again, on the DC-9, you pull the window shades down and up to open. And of course, do assess the wing. And of course, grab. Only in the event of, hence this, what you do here with my cursor. I prefer you to work as a team for this. Grab, pull, throw. Grab, pull, throw, and do not take the hatch in the airplane. Same goes for this. Same goes for this row here. About emergency exits. The window shade, especially on the hatch here, you pull it down to close and up to open. Same goes for this side. You pull the window shade down to close and up to open. And down to close, up to open. And as usual, in the event of an evacuation, you assess the wing first. And the same thing goes for the opposite side of the aircraft. You follow these black marks. And of course, throw the hatch away from the airplane. And to get out, you grab, pull, push. Grab, pull, throw it out, and work as a team. Especially for, hence, this type of exit. And back here, let's see here. You want to go back there and check the Cooper vein? Okay, I'm going to close it now. But before you do, of course assess. I only did that on purpose to entertain you. Okay, and same thing on this end. Open door slowly, and no smoking in the laboratory. Same thing for here. This will only come on if this were true. Same thing over here. This will only come on if this was true. Huh. Yeah, that's not fair. We only got this end. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelts. Make sure they're securely fastened. And if you smoke at all, please resist the urges to smoke. Or begin the process there of quitting. True or false? Everything here, just like the 727, it's set up differently. Alright. Okay. Well, I'm not doing VOR to VOR today. Strong power frequency. Emergency lights. Passenger signs are on. Yeah, I'll give that to my first officer. Nice protection. Anti-skid. registered. Have the packs on. Yeah, that's on. And they seem on to me. Let's do that. Let's call for pushback. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Labrador 5-4 here. We're now beginning the pushback process. And now, of course,
Albuquerque ground TWA 5-4 heavy request taxi for takeoff and parting straight out.
You've heard everything.
Taxi to runway 8 using taxiway Alpha TWA 5-4 heavy. Albuquerque ground TWA 5-4 heavy requesting pushback.
Alright, the pushback phase is taking place at the moment. If it moves, then I'll know. Okay, let me turn those on. The auxiliary hydraulics. I'm just gonna go on rather than override, even though it looks awesome. Turn the plane around. Watch right. Oh, look at that engine damage there. Okay, the servo hydraulics, let's see if I can get them high. What mode are they? All fuel pumps on except the center. Maybe that's what I missed. Start. There we go. There's engine 2. Let me introduce fuel to that engine now. Or no, not yet. I had to check the control surfaces anyway. Wow, that heart really is a deceitful organ of all things, both physically and spiritually, whatever you want to call it. Well, I flew in the DC-9 today and chose to give it its heart's desires because, or my heart, its desires because you're usually a good person out of this. Yeah. Okay, let me go and start number 1 now, okay? soon as both engines are online, I will do the control surface checks. Engine one. Okay, I think both engines are online now. Let me do the checks. Let me just do a quick one here, okay? Let me try how it's done. So now I'm going to come down. Turn all the lights on. They're off. Okay, the parking brake is armed. Last I checked anyway. Let me close the starters. APU air. Off. Okay, APU power is available, so that's all I need. Fill the center tanks and ladies and gentlemen, bearing with the tutorial, I suggest that you skip chapters. Generator reset. APU. Alright, that's how I'm sure of it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is Acting Captain Labrador 5-4 here. Taxiing the runway, the Twin Globe should be shimmering in the morning light. And of course, reminders where we've been and where we're going. Every turn of the wheel echoes a ripple in the wetlands, so let's make it count. Ladies and gentlemen, as usual, I recommend that you skip chapters if you want to watch any of my videos. I really do, because I was of course following a tutorial, especially for a DC-9 flight. And if you want to get to the takeoff phase, we're just about there. Hopefully when we're clear for takeoff, the throttles will be set, the ducks are dreaming, the embryos humming. Let's lift off with purpose, because every penny can carry a promise. Hopefully we'll be entering the rotation phase and be airborne soon. At this point, all cabin crew, please prepare for takeoff, thank you. Especially because this is a DC-9, and once we break ground, I'll go back in the cockpit. Well, this is Labrador 5-4 here. You know how we do things here.
Albuquerque Tower, TWA 5-4, ready, departure straight out, departure.
TWA 5-4, heading 415, departing straight out, cleared for takeoff, runway.
Cleared for takeoff, runway, TWA 5-4, heading.
Now Joshua and MD-80, if you're flying at any time or if you're watching any of my content, I beg of you to keep your DC-9 tutorial up, or as much as you possibly can. Though I may be flying the plane wrong. the only way you can get better, right? Is through an actual attempt. Pretty much. It's the only one true way you can get better. Okay, we're here. On the runway. 2, 1, now. A lot of alarms going off in the cockpit. We got Canvasbacks to repopulate. Hey, nuts. V1, what do you want to do? Say rotate. V2, I'll say you're up. Back in the cockpit. Especially because we're flying over military, whatever you want to call it. I'll stay in the cockpit right now. So right below us is Kirtland Air Force Base. And especially because I'm flying a DC-9 today, I guess my heart was right. I guess my heart was right to choose this airplane today, because even though the heart is the most deceitful of all things, I guess it helped reduce security risks. Okay, let's go to Volterra and Fort Hills, and then eventually Glenwood Hills. Hey, is something going on? What? What's going on? ATC hasn't talked to us yet. To Glenwood Hills, for that matter. I just gotta get away from a mountain crash, okay? I'm gonna start talking to ATC at this point. Oh, they haven't gotten to me.
What's that? Frequency change. Albuquerque approach TWA 5 miles east of Albuquerque, DC-9. Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace.
TWA 5
Squawk 063 TWA 54 heavy. Charlie airspace TWA 54 heavy.
I just gotta get this thing over Glenwood Hills, because for the time being I record this video, I live there, and I'm very fortunate enough to live there. The vast majority of residents in Glenwood Hills live there a long time. Like, I'm a 30-year resident in Glenwood Hills. The time I record this video, yeah, I literally lived there for 30 years. Okay, alright. Okay, alright. Yep, here it is, Glenwood Hills. Right down below us. Down below us are my schools where I daydream to fly these flights. So that's why Jackson Elementary School, Eisenhower Middle School, Eldorado High School, Hoffmantown Church. And along with that, right this way is Coronado Airport. Right here, that's one of our emergency places. And now, I gotta get back in the cockpit for that matter. You don't need an TWA, can you? Wow, ATC wasn't really talking to us this whole time.
Albuquerque approach TWA Heavy is type 4 miles northeast of Fort Alpha Charlie, 13,400 feet. Request flight following.
TWA Heavy Albuquerque approach. 20017.
Squawk 2017 TWA Flight 4 Heavy. Albuquerque Center TWA Flight 4 Heavy 76,600 feet.
Okay, now that we've taken off, let's see what we have here. Or I don't think we'll ever get to cruising phase at all. The only real reason why I put 30,000 feet as our desired altitude is because I needed someplace to go. As for that matter, we're airborne, on our way to Grand Junction now at this point. This has just become a comfort route for some reason. Alright, when I get to Telluride, remind me. Turn the lighting lights and everything on. It's 7,000 to go. You know, the DC-9 is a very difficult aircraft, especially to start. That's actually what I especially have trouble with right now, starting the aircraft. Well, today I had flown the aircraft just because my heart did so feel like it. And as I said from before, the heart is the most deceitful of all organs, both physically and spiritually. And of course, For some reason, some part of me really wanted to fly it. I'm like, okay, I'll fly it. I guess I learned some patience for the matter. Because in good ways, of course, I want to be the best person I could possibly be, is why I chose to take this aircraft out today. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Even though my heart is deceitful, I worked with it and chose to fly the DC-9 today because I saw that. And even nowadays, sometimes when my heart desires for the most strangest things, I could be made a better person in good ways, of course. What I possibly look like to you, and how good of a person could I possibly be falling for these desires. We're almost at 30,000 feet above ground level. 2,500 feet to go. Alright, look back here. Let's see what happens. Yes. So what about it? Okay. 2,000 to go. Alright, let's jump. When we get to Grand Junction, I'm going to begin the process of descent around All-American City, aka Montrose. That should give us plenty of time to descend. Okay? Right when we're over the ridge and there's going to be flatlands, I will begin the processes thereof gradual descent. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and make the cabin serviceable. We'll mark the 1,000 to go mark. Stand by. Okay, 1,000 to go. I'm going to make the cabin serviceable at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your acting Captain Labrador 5-4 here. We're reaching our cruising altitude of 30,000 feet above ground level. You all heard me correctly, we're reaching our cruising altitude of 30,000 feet above ground level. And I'm out here assessing the airplane with my drone camera view. As you can tell. And at this point, you heard me correctly, at this point, you know, while we're cruising, look over the mesas, rivers, all that. The sky feels like a ledger. Each cloud a memory, each mile a transaction of hope. The twin globes are not just symbols, they're signatures. Today we sign our name across the sky. And so now I'm coming back in the airplane and I'm going to come check on you. And so right now, for some reason this airplane's just not holding at altitude. Okay. This altitude we're flying here will just have to do. Let me look for altitude hold and pitch selector. just for a brief moment. Just trying to get the aircraft to altitude hold. I'm now going to go back into the cabin, see what goes on here. Ladies and gentlemen, use aircraft at own risk. You are supposed to be looking out windows and everything. You got the Joe and everything. You know how to get out here in an emergency if needed. This one's on there. Let me go to the rear of the plane, so now simulation perform. Go and talk to him. I want to check everyone.
Going to 118, successful flight 7 flight TWA flight 4 heavy. Denver Center TWA flight 4 heavy, flight level 305.
I just have to do. You'll see it on the emergency exit. You know what to do here? Even though you can't really operate the window shade. What do you think you're doing here? There's an airport down there. Looks like we're in Colorado airspace. Murrow Field on the Divide. Well, we're only 170 miles away, so let me see how everybody's doing back here. Let me check the engine cowling. Excuse me, I say I check the engines. Viewer, called off your judgment. Viewers, called off your judgment, please. Ah, I should check the wings too. Okay, 160 miles away. That's not much. Okay, let me go and hang out at the exit row. Let me ask Copilot, Microsoft Copilot for dialogues. Here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your acting Captain Labrador 5-4 here. We're cruising within the 30,000 foot range. So far, so smoothly above the Colorado Plateau. Below us, rivers trace ancient paths. This is our Canvasbacks. We'll soon return to theirs, and hopefully this area will be populated. Today, flight isn't just about altitude, it's about legacy. Thank you for flying with us, and for making senses of the sky. If you look to your left, and your right even, for this matter, you should see that we're over the San Juan mountain range. If you look up the starboard side of the airplane, you'll see the San Juan mountain range here. And of course, some restoration teams await our arrival in that mountain range. In your seat pocket, there should be, we'll pretend anyway, in your seat pocket here, just located below your tray tables, there should be commemorative pennies. Hold it gently. It represents a wish, a memory, a duck's journey home. We invite you to reflect or simply, of course, rest. The skies are listening. Passenger whispers, I heard each embryo has a name. Not scientific, just symbolic. One's called Ripple, another Echo. Strange, isn't it? How something small, so small, could carry such meaning. And so much meaning. Twin globes once connected continents. Today, they connect wetlands. Every mile flown is a mile restored. Every duck delivered is a story continued. And every penny placed is a promise kept. Child passenger, to parents, do the ducks know where they're going? I think they do, sweethearts. They remember just like we do. And for that matter, let's see what we have. Alright, let me check the starboard, or in the port side of the airplane for the matter. Let's see what is out there. Exit row. Gotcha. Yeah, port side of the airplane is so deserty. Look at that. It's so deserty right here. So right now I'm actually just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make my way back to the cockpit at this point. Before I do, I'll say it again, before I do, let me check the windows again. Okay, we're only 120 nautical miles. I better hurry up and get back in the cockpit. I trust that the passenger signs will be on. That being the case, let me pull off the ritual from RV. Robin Williams RV, that is. And Durango La Plata. Before I do, screenshot here. Especially while we're still in the 100 range when we get up here. Pull off the ritual from Robin Williams RV. Top of the airplane, just like, as you can see on top of the airplane, just like on the Gornicki bus. I'm Bob Monroe on top of the Gornicki bus. Go over Durango now. That's not really far. Oh god, I feel. Oh, of course.
Denver Center TWA flight heavy wetland 305.
Okay, that's always the case. I'm going up there. And at this point, if you've seen Robin Williams' RV at all, Bob Monroe, you remember how he's on top of the Gornicke bus? He goes, Jamie! Then he falls over. I'm not sure how he does, but... And he falls. And of course, Travis Gornicke is like, Bob? And the next thing that happens, if we go over here, JD Monroe, she goes off on Bob, and she's all like, are you an idiot? What are you doing on top of the bus? Or in this gameplay, are you an idiot? What are you doing on top of the airplane? Oh, you can say I'm an idiot. And on top of the plane. The greenery below is just like a perfect penny there. We're getting together and making some sense. Alright, we're getting together and making some sense. We really are. Who's right below us? I wonder. What is that? Telluride Regional. Okay, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and begin the process there of the landing descent. On landing, so right now, we are. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackson Captain Labrador 54 here. We're now ready to begin the process there of landing. You heard that correctly. We're going to begin the process there of landing at Grand Junction Regional Airport in Grand Junction, Colorado. At this point, Canvasbacks should be steering. Embryos ready, descending into Grand Junction where restoration begins. So right here, right now, let's at least talk to them. Them referring to Grand Junction Regional Airport. And why else I fly VFRs? Because I knew that this would not. I say again, I knew this airplane and this flight would not follow air traffic control commands all the way. I knew it wouldn't. I knew it would be a failure. Yeah, really, I knew it. I knew this would be a bust if I went IFR today. So what, wear Labrador 5 for gaming productions, I can fly however I want, wherever I want, whenever I want. Come on, Grand Junction, show yourself. This is not good. There.
Grand Junction Tower, TWA more heavy 17 miles south, flight 305, 05.
Alright. I don't care if we get past Flying M&M Ranch, I'm going to begin the descent process thereof right now. I'm going to start reducing the speed at this point. get it down to like 10,000. Closer to Grand Junction now. Good thing I called it just outside of Telluride. I called a descent around Flying M&M Ranch. Good thing I called for descent around there. Only 30 nautical miles away. That's pretty close for a DC-9. No, you're gonna burn that distance. Yeah, really, you're gonna burn that distance. You're gonna burn it fast. Now get to 290. Just clarify this.
Grand Junction, WA 54 is unfamiliar with the area. Request directions to the airport.
TWA 54 heading airport is 10 miles to 7 miles.
When ATC talks to you, you acknowledge everything. Alright, at this point, the lights. Every light is on. true positions. Things get smaller. Follow it. In you go. Into the pattern entry you go. Now I do this on purpose to show and tell that my heart, of course, desires some of the most strangest things. And these things here work. Why I follow those heart's desires of mine is because even though I was told not to follow my heart quite a bit, this is actually one of those, desires of my heart that, of course, I can work with for the matter, and have to work with, as deceitful as it is. As deceitful as my heart really is. While I'm at it, if there's anything you want me to say or do better, please let me know in the comments. I know I've hesitated a lot because, my heart so desired to fly the DC-9, and you may have heard how deceitful that part of your body, physical and spiritual, really truly is, right? Let's stop over someplace really quick.
121.7 TWA 54 heavy. Goodbye. Bye. Grand Junction, TWA 54 heavy, request taxi to the gate.
TWA 54 heavy,
Taxiway what?
Taxi to gate 2, taxiway TWA 54 heavy.
Chinese operators doing here? They better be refugees. Nice from time to record this video. If it can't connect, then... Okay, we've arrived. Let me do a post-landing exterior check. Well, the visual aids obstructing landing gear, so a lot of fun, right? Okay, at this point I'm gonna go and walk you all to Grand Junction. I'm going to start the auxiliary power unit again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Grand Junction, Colorado. Let me let off the emergency light. I don't understand why it's still making noise here. And again, even though I'm new to this plane, let me go ahead and everything here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Grand Junction. Before we shut down the engines, one more thing has begun this whole time. Now, of course, let me get all the services here and we'll continue one more thing. I am proud, in a good way, of course, to have gone one of my heart's wicked desires behind me for the time being. And so now we're gonna request for everything, and then from there, let's hope that, for real, I got this desire behind me for the time being.
Grand Junction, TWA 54 heavy, could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft?
Awesome.
Grand Junction, TWA 54 heavy, could you please send a ground power unit?
Okay, let's get everything except for fuel.
Grand Junction, TWA 54 heavy, could you send the baggage?
Look at all these requests.
TWA 54 heavy baggage is on the way.
Grand Junction, TWA 54 heavy, could you send the catering truck?
TWA 54 heavy is on the road.
Alright, get out. Let's go. Over the purpose. Get out. Move. Okay, let's just get out from here. Hard to say. Alright. Ooh, we get LSG starships today. Hold on. Lights. Let me turn some of these off. Alright. Right now, as they're connecting chow and everything here, pretend everything takes place in here. Let me get into a view where I can see the airplane and everything else taking place. Beautiful thing about Flight Simulator. You can do all of this. Good thing the crash settings are off. Anyway, before I close out the episode of today, this flight was not just about distance, it was about meaning. A penny, a duck, and a dream. Twin Globes pitch in will continue per my heart's desires. Because healing takes more than time, it takes togetherness. So let's get together and keep making sense. Just like in the response to that old classic joke, what did the penny say to the other penny? Now, the reason why I did Season 2, Episode 1 for the DC-9 is because, you know, when I wanted to fly, I had the Twin Globe library, and that's how things at Labrador 5-4 Gaming Productions are organized. Right? Certain airplanes, certain add-on makes, and certain types are, of course, 5 episodes a season, and they're placed in, of course, for example, with the TWA 727, that's Twin Globes pitch in Season 1, Episode 1, Between Us Something Smells. And today is Twin Globes pitch in Season 2, Episode 1, Let's get together and make some sense. Yeah, so in Season 1, Episode 1, it's Twin Globes pitch in Between Us Something Smells using the Flight Sim Studio 727. And of course in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, Twin Globes pitch in Season 2, Episode 1, it's Let's get together and make some sense using the Sky Simulations DC-9. And so right now I got, this time I'm sure that a heart's desire right behind me. So that's our show. If you like, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all